Hello and welcome to Random News Recap. Our first story is about a agate gemstone, which is weird since there are no gate-like qualities on the stone, and a gate's main purpose is to open and close. And to open it, you would have to use a power tool, and you can't close it, but anyway, agate gemstone worth 10K thanks to its unusual resemblance to the Sesame Street star Cookie Monster. The man who currently has the stone is Mike Bowers. He received it from the gemologist, which we know means shiny rock know-it-all, Lucas Fasari, and he found it in the Rio Grande do Sul area of Brazil. However, Lucas was unaware of what was in the stone until Bowers opened the stone on camera. He was shocked to see that the stone had a very strange shape. I think this is probably the most perfect Cookie Monster out there, Bowers told Kennedy News. I have seen others, but here you have it complete on both sides. The Cookie Monster Twitter account also chimed in saying, "Me no geologist, but me think that rock look a lot like me." End quote. Bowers then chimed in saying, "This is very unusual. There are a few famous agates out there. The owl, the scared face. There are many approximate ones, but it is rare to find one so well defined like this." Bowers told the outlet that he was proposed over $10,000 by 5 different buyers for the agate. Wow, the Sesame Street collectors are coming out strong for today. Also, side note here, I personally think that it looks a lot more like Blue from Foster's Home for Imaginary Friends, but who knows, that could just be me. Our next story is from Oklahoma, where apparently they have nothing better to do than to define the Bigfoot hunting season. So as we all know, Bigfoot is maybe real, but probably not, but maybe. Well, either way, a lawmaker from Oklahoma thinks that making a season and a hunting license for Bigfoot, regardless of his existence, would be good for tourism in the area and drive up business for the parks. Humphrey, the man behind the law, told the Oklahoma City NBC station KFOR that he would work on specifics with the commission, which would include a $25,000 bounty for someone who traps the cryptid. Unfortunately, the commission didn't seem interested. "We use science-driven research and we don't recognize Bigfoot in the state of Oklahoma," quoted Micah Holmes, the hater. So, Bigfoot, if you are watching this video, seeing as you are real and can speak flawless English, please know that you should go to Washington. You are legally protected by name there, but you didn't hear it from me. A New York library said a biography of Theodore Roosevelt was returned that was nearly 72 years overdue. John Moss of Mattook said he has no idea how he got it. Greatheart, the life story of Theodore Roosevelt was the book title, by Daniel Henderson. He brought it back to the Amagansett Free Library, where they found that it had been due since April 5th of 1949, which, with a rate of a penny a day, is $262 in late fees. Lauren Nicholas, the library director, said it is a first edition from 1919 and has the original library bookplate, as well as the circulation policy on the back cover, which is some kind of big deal, I guess. She then went on to say, "I've only seen 1 or 2 items at the library with these features, but none with both." The man who returned the book claims that he recently found it in a big plastic box of books he had in storage, which I understand because I've recently helped someone clean out their basement and there were some library books that were overdue by about 30 years. He claims that he probably got the book when he helped to clean out his parents' house in 2013, but I think we all know the truth. He is an immortal vampire that found a to-do list from April of 1949. He then went to the library to return the book because he had a conscience, but then the library got the news involved, so the vampire panicked and made some story about it being at his parents' house, and the $260 in late fees is chump change for an immortal rich vampire. Our next story is about a cat that was brought down from a utility pole in Las Vegas after being stuck there for 3 days, which, to be honest, I don't think that it was worth saving. I mean, it was dumb enough to climb on top of a utility pole, like, doesn't it know that those are dangerous? And also, if it could get up there, there is no good reason why it could not get back down on its own. Not to mention that the person that reported the cat being stuck up there didn't even call the fire department. Like, everyone knows that firefighters are known for 2 things, putting out fires and rescuing cats from trees and stuff. But no, they called the Las Vegas Valley Humane Society, who didn't even do anything. They just put a call for help on social media. And then it gets worse, because they then posted saying, "Thank you to the individuals who reached out to help and rescue, and to the community for their sincere concerns." Like, they couldn't even be bothered to even learn the name of the person who saved the life of a cat. Now, I know some of you are saying that maybe the person didn't want to know, but I have a counterpoint. No sane person would just save a cat for no credit. The only reason would be to gain a bit of fame. Anyway, on to our next story about an animal being stuck in a weird location. A few days ago, police rescued a hawk from the front of a grill of what looks to be a creeper van. I think they might have been checking the wrong part of the car for trapped beings, but instead they decided the bird was more important. The department said officers meticulously extricated the hawk by removing parts of the front of the car without causing injury to the animal or causing more damage to the car. End quote. Thank goodness they didn't cause more damage to such a priceless car. But anyway, the red-tailed hawk is now recovering at the Animal Emergency Center of Novi, Michigan. For our next story, it's not about animals, rather a device used to film them. Rose Zhang, a volunteer with the nonprofit Ocean Defenders Alliance, said she was participating in a cleanup operation near the Spitting Caves on the south side of Oahu when she came across a GoPro camera that was still sealed in its waterproof case. At this point, I'm fairly certain that GoPros are indestructible because when she opened it, the memory card still worked. The card still had the video that showed Naono Kami and his buddies cliff jumping in 2014. Nano then said that he got a bunch of people sending him the video from almost 7 years prior, so he was extremely surprised that someone had found his GoPro. He had lost it just a few days after his mother had given it to him. And now, Rose visited Nano's work to give him the camera in person. Our last story featured cliff jumping, so this one will feature popcorn catching. A pair of guys from Idaho broke a Guinness World Record when one used both hands to throw popcorn that the other caught in his mouth. However, seeing as these guys were from Idaho, I want to see them redo the record, but with potatoes. David Rush and Jonathan Hannon have set more than 150 world records, which is impressive, but they claim it is to support STEM education. And maybe I'm not smart enough to understand, but how is long-distance popcorn eating related to plant structure sticks studying? Anyway, Hannon threw the popcorn while Rush caught the kernels. Hannon is ambidextrous, so he can use both hands to throw, I guess. However, Rush had no special skills to help him out. Rush also claimed that the hardest part of the record was predicting where the popcorn was going to land. So it seems Hannon can only use both his hands equally bad. That said, RIP to the previous record set by Ashita Furman and Bipin Larkin, who had a score of 37, which was absolutely smashed by the new record being 54. Imagine what score they could get if Rush got himself a good popcorn pitcher. Passer. Popperback. Another world record story here, as a team of scientists at Britain's Manchester University were awarded a Guinness World Record for using microscopic knots to create the world's finest woven fabric. Professor David Ley and his team of chemists figured out how to weave a fabric with a thread count of 40 to 60 million. They used a method of combining carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, nitrogen, and sulfur into molecular strands. So basically, after reading the ingredients list, they used 3, maybe 4 gases and some lava leftovers to make a tiny pretzel knot. Regardless of what it is, they claim molecular woven fabrics may be able to clean water by filtering out bacteria and unwanted ions and molecules. They may be useful for making fabrics that are breathable, allowing through oxygen and water, but blocking toxins or bacteria or viruses. Which, admittedly, is cool. So it is basically a life straw, but as a tiny blanket. Maybe it could also be used as a collapsible pasta strainer. Oh, here's another brilliant idea. Maybe they can make the tiniest tissue to wipe your eyes since this video is over now. Goodbye.